Well, we really can't have peace and quiet this offseason, can we? Whether it be ridiculous rumors, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and that whole rumor mill every single day, the noise that I call it, or whether it be actual news, it's just not quiet for the 49ers. They have just now lost their eighth coach of the offseason as quarterbacks coach Rich Scangarello has left to the University of Kentucky, where he's going to be the offensive coordinator. Second 49ers staffer to leave to Kentucky this offseason. Assistant offensive line coach Zach Yenser is going to be the head offensive line coach for the Wildcats. But obviously, this is a high-profile kind of move because the 49ers have such questions at the quarterback position moving forward. Trey Lance is the presumptive, the likely starter for the 49ers taking over in 2022. And that means that quarterbacks coach is a position that matters. So what are the 49ers going to do? What does the whole staff situation look like right now? And what are the next steps? Well, I have to wonder. John Beck, might he be the 49ers next quarterbacks coach? John Beck, former NFL backup QB, played for Shanahan last decade in Washington in 2010 and 2011. And he's currently an offensive assistant for the New York Jets under Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh, that whole staff. Obviously, Zach Wilson is the quarterback there. But we do know that Beck has been, still is a quarterback specialist. He's a guy that trains these quarterbacks in the offseason. And he's worked with Trey Lance before. So he's worked with all kinds of Shanahan guys before. If Shanahan's interested in drafting you, he's going to want to hear John Beck's opinion. Well, John Beck, being the former Shanahan quarterback himself, immediately have to wonder if the 49ers might think about bringing him in, and that would be a promotion for him because he's an offensive assistant now for the Jets. You have to think if Shanahan's thinking about bringing him in to be the guy that works with Trey Lance as the 49ers quarterbacks coach. And since the 49ers and Shanahan do like to promote from within, they do like internal hiring so much, you have to wonder what Bobby Slowik's next role is going to be. He's an offensive assistant for the 49ers, but he worked extensively with the quarterbacks this past season. So will the 49ers just elevate somebody from the inside and have Bobby Slowik be their quarterbacks coach? I don't know. We're going to talk to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, maybe only Lynch next week. We'll see who shows up at the combine in Indianapolis, but that's where the next developments will happen. We'll see who the 49ers add to their staff, but those are two names to keep an eye out for right now. Slowik is already on the staff, and obviously John Beck is a name of interest given his history with Kyle Shanahan, given his history with 49ers quarterbacks and just young quarterbacks who Shanahan has been interested in the past. And obviously Trey Lance is going to be at the focal point of what the 49ers do moving forward. So my big question obviously is, will Shanahan bring in a more experienced quarterbacks coach for Trey Lance? And I think that's going to be the operative question here moving forward. By the way, that is now 8 staff poachings this offseason from the 49ers. I have to go down a list to remember every single one of these because they've happened so extensively to the 49ers in just less than a month. January 30th was the NFC Championship game. It's February 25th, and the 49ers have now lost 8 members of that 2021 coaching staff. Mike McDaniel, who's gone to the Dolphins to be their head coach. Richard Hightower, who's gone to the Bears to be their special teams coordinator. John Embry, who's gone to Miami to be the tight end coach. Wes Welker, who's gone to Miami to be the wide receivers coach. Obviously, Embry and Welker, both under Mike McDaniel. Butch Berry, assistant offensive line coach for the 49ers, has moved to the Broncos to be their head O-line coach. Zach Yenser, assistant O-line coach for the 49ers, has moved to Kentucky to be their line coach. James Betcher, 49ers defensive special assistant who worked with the linebackers this past season while Johnny Holland received treatment for his multiple myeloma. Betcher is now the Bengals head linebackers coach, and Rich Scangarello, who we're talking about in this video, is now Kentucky's offensive coordinator. So that is 8 staff poachings. I know some of them were probably coaches like Hightower, who I'm not really sure the 49ers wanted to extend there for another year after the special team struggled. And You also looked at Embry, effectively replaced by Anthony Lynn on the 49ers staff. But bottom line is the 49ers still have more hirings to do to replace all of these losses. And we're going to get some answers from the brass at the NFL Combine. I'll be in Indianapolis next week, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. Before then, I do have to say, though, with so many coaches getting promotions, the 49ers must be doing something right. And that's obviously the goal. The spirit of abundance is what Bill Walsh called it. And for anybody who always asks me about all these staff departures, well, it's kind of the point. If you're doing your job as an organization, if you're winning football games, if you're developing players correctly, if the coaching staff is good, because you also have to try to develop the coaching staff, right? If you're doing that correctly, then guys are going to get hired by other places. Guys are going to get promotions in other places. So, I mean, it's a free market, and the goal should be to allow coaches to climb the ladder, to elevate. And that was Bill Walsh's goal. And Steve Young has talked about this in the spirit of abundance before, in that let these guys take these other jobs. You obviously don't have a choice if it's a promotion as a head coach, but encourage them to build their careers, build their knowledge, and then set them free to be able to take their knowledge that they learned with the organization elsewhere. Bill Walsh would give guys binders. He would give his outgoing assistant coaches binders of everything that the 49ers system preached, that the 49ers system knew and had imparted on them. Bill Walsh would give those assistants parting gifts. So whether it be Mike Holmgren going to the Green Bay Packers, I mean, you had so many of these guys, right? Yeah, we could go through the list of the Bill Walsh coaching tree if we want to, but I'm not going to belabor you with that. But Mike Holmgren going from the 49ers as their offensive coordinator to the Green Bay Packers is probably one of the notable examples, because the Packers turned around and started beating the 49ers with the 49ers system. But Walsh believed that if he had this spirit of abundance, if he had this mentality where, you know, you guys go elsewhere, you guys take the knowledge that I've given you, he thought that he would foster an environment where people were hungry to get better, where people use that free coaching market to give their best work to the 49ers. And it's hard to argue with what Bill Walsh gave not only the 49ers, but also the league. So from the Shanahan perspective right now, it's not a bad thing to have guys getting promotions elsewhere. But you better keep on doing a good job developing the coaches on your own staff and bringing in the correct outside hires to replace the guys who left to keep the train rolling. That's the challenge of this. But I think one of the signs associated with losing these guys is that you're doing a good job, that you're doing something right. So the 49ers just have to keep it turning, with Rich Scangarello, quarterbacks coach, being the latest departure. I'll take a couple questions, and I have to get running. Trey Lance will be working with John Beck and Tom House this offseason. Well, we'll see if he works with John Beck as a 49er in the building, if they bring in John Beck to be the quarterback's coach. I mean, I'm just tossing it out there. Maybe Shanahan's just interested in elevating Slowik and keeping this all internal. But the 49ers have lost some talent on that coaching staff as far as assistants go. So it wouldn't be the craziest fit in the world if they did bring John Beck in. But obviously, Trey Lance can work with his people off on the side too, because he's getting a lot of work done throwing, I think, this offseason to Brandon Ayuk in Orange County in Southern California. So it's going to be a fascinating few months, that's for sure, as the 49ers fill out their staff and they try to get Trey Lance ready. Chad TV says or asks, what's the difference between the QB coach and the guy Trey sees in the offseason that will help him with things like his throwing motion? Well, if John Beck becomes the quarterback's coach, then all of a sudden there isn't much of a difference between those two guys, right? Because you'd have that overlap. But anyway, the offseason guys, they're working on very minute details. That's offseason work. You're not really in the playbook in the offseason. The quarterback's coach has to be more of a liaison between the quarterback's position and the offensive coordinator, and obviously Kyle Shanahan, the play caller. So you're talking a broader stroke when you're talking the quarterback's coach, because you're dealing with all kinds of stuff that relates to what the 49ers are actually running versus the offseason specialists. Those guys are going to be working on Trey's release. Those guys are going to be working on Trey's eyes. So everybody's kind of dipping into the same pool, but with different levels of intensity for different focuses. Tim Cassidy says, I think the difference is off-season, they'll be working more on footwork and throwing motion. In season, it's about reading the defense. Tim Cassidy said exactly what I just did, and I credit him for that because I think you probably typed that before I said it. So Tim's a smart guy. Thanks for the good comment. Yes, it doesn't make fans feel better losing this many coaches, but fans are always going to freak out about stuff that they probably shouldn't freak out about. At the end of the day, you'd rather be losing coaches due to promotions elsewhere than to have nobody want your staff. Because if nobody wants your staff probably sucks. So the 49ers staff obviously is good. Shanahan obviously doing a good job developing the talent, not only on the team, but on the staff. And this is what's going to happen. Just, take a look at the Bill Walsh coaching tree. Maybe I could pop open the Bill Walsh coaching tree to see how much he impacted the game of football. Bill Walsh, I think it's on Wikipedia. You could find it in so many places. Yeah, let's go to Bill Walsh's Wikipedia page. And there's the tree. This is it right here. It's up on the screen. I could even make it a little bit bigger. So if your staff is a good one and the rest of the league recognizes it, and I think the 49ers are in that position right now, then you could end up with a coaching tree like this. This is the Walsh one, and it's massive. And Kyle Shanahan's even an honorary member because obviously Mike Shanahan worked under Seifert from 92 to 94. Kyle Shanahan was the ball boy there. So the influence of Bill Walsh spreads far and wide into the league, and the influence of Kyle Shanahan and his staff is starting to spread far and wide into the league, and it's because they're doing something right. Beck's contract did expire with the Jets. Okay, thanks for that note. I wasn't sure if it had expired or not. Well, it will expire, I guess, with the new league year here because sometimes these contracts go a couple months into the new calendar year. So either way, even if the Jets wanted Beck there to be their offensive assistant again in 2022, quarterback's coach of the 49ers would be a promotion. So either way, I don't think that would get in the way. It's going to be interesting to see what the 49ers do. That's just a name that I am tossing out there. All right, everybody, thanks for your questions. Maybe we get time for two more. How important is the QB coach during the season and his hours up to par? Well, the 49ers currently don't have a quarterback's coach because Rich Scangarello is leaving to Kentucky. So that is my question for Kyle Shanahan. Is Bobby Slowik, who is a pass game specialist who's been working with the quarterbacks, is he's going to be up to the job, or the 49ers bring somebody else in? D'Anthony asks, what's happening with special teams coordinator position? It's been a while since Hightower's departure, and I haven't heard any news yet. All I know is the 49ers are undergoing interviews right now, and we'll get an update during the NFL Combine. That's why you should subscribe to the channel, because the Combine is next week. I will be coming to you live from Indianapolis. We'll have news, we'll have developments, and I think maybe the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff will start rolling once the 49ers have a chance to talk to other teams. And, once this Aaron Rodgers rumor mill settles down a bit. It's been a dead period of the offseason. I hope I've helped you pass the time, but we're about to move into, I think, the treadmill is going to start speeding up. So anyway, Scangarello's gone. He's going to Kentucky. So 7 other former 49ers coaches, but you don't have to freak out. It means they're doing something right. And let's just sit back, hold tight, and see how they start filling out the staff. Subscribe and enjoy. We've got a weekend coming up, and so is the Combine. So I'll talk to you all soon.